do this till we get it right. If we don't get it right the first time, we'll do it again. Johnny K. I hear that train comes going around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck for the rhythm. I'm dragging on. Train keeps on moving all down the side. Mama told me, John, always be a good boy, never play with guns. I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. That train keeps a rolling, I hang my head and cry. Big cigars, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. That train keeps a rolling. That's what tortures me. I'd probably move it on a little farther down the line, far from home and friends. That's where I want to stay. I let that once roll my blues. Thank you very much. I'm Johnny K. My name's really Keith Coleman, it's not Johnny Cash. But I do love to Johnny Cash. My favorite thing in the whole world, to tribute to the great Johnny Cash, the only human on the planet Earth, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Country Music Hall of Fame, Songwriter Hall of Fame, and Folk Music Hall of Fame. Elvis only got into 2 of those. Johnny Cash got his start down in Memphis, Tennessee, along with Carl Perkins, Roy Orbison, Jerry Lee Lewis, Charlie Rich, B.B. King, Ike Turner, and Elvis Presley. You remember him, don't you? Got started down at Sun Records. If it wasn't for Sun Records, you might not have heard of any of those people there. It was a miracle little place, about as big as this stage here, maybe a little bit bigger. They turned out more rock stars and country stars than you could shake a stick at. The problem with Memphis was there was no place you could play live. If you wanted to play live, you had to go all the way down to the Louisiana Hayride. That's the first time Johnny Cash ever got to see Elvis play live was the Louisiana Hayride. And he was quite impressed with Elvis. He was so impressed with Elvis, he wrote a special song just for Elvis. But also working at the Louisiana Hayride was a young woman that was working there as a comedian. Her name was June Carter. And Johnny had taken a little bit of a shine to June. And he found out that Elvis had slipped her a love note. He decided he wasn't going to give that song to Elvis. He was going to keep it for himself. Good thing he did, because he made a lot of money off it. This is the song I'm talking about right here. job in town. Wind and blow at the people's feet, windy corner of a windy street. Asked him to shine my shoes, how he kept from getting the blues. Ready to show his little head on the shoe shine rag. And I said, get rhythm. You got the blues, get rhythm. If you got the blues, jump the ring and make the beat so fine. She all the trouble on the word of mine. If you got the blues. Sweat away, under the board, we were winning and winning. Said I like it with the big white pin on the shoe shine leg. Said again, get rhythm. You got the blues, get rhythm. If you got the blues, jump the rhythm, it'll be so fine. She pulled the top of every word mine, get rhythm. If you got the blues. I got a very special song for you now. The reason this song is so special is this is the song that got Johnny Cash barred from the Grand Ole Opry. There are those in this house, even amongst us here tonight, that would say Johnny Cash used to drink too much. Well, I don't think so either. But it is a fact that he'd gotten to the Ryman Theater, he had stopped off and had a few beers at happy hour. Just got his hands on this new song, and he was quite proud of this song. And he got kind of carried away, and he stomped out all the footlights at the Ryman Theater. Well, it appears they can't take a joke, because it was years before they let him back in. And the song has nothing to do with stomping out footlights, and I guarantee you, you have heard this song before. It goes like this. Daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much from my mom and me, just this old guitar, empty bottle of booze. I don't care that he run and hid, but the biggest thing that he ever did is, before he left, he went and named me Sue. He must have thought that was a pretty good joke, and he got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. Seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal that giggled and I turned red, some guy laughing, I bust his head. Things just ain't that easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean, but this guy hard and this guy keen. Rode from town to hide my shame. But I swore by the moon and stars I'd search with honky tonks and bars, I'd find that mangy weasel that named me Sue. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July, and I rode into town, my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. There on a street of mud, sitting at a table dealing stuff with that mangy snake that went and named me Sue. I knew that rap was my own sweet dad, my old photograph in the mile had. I recognized the scar on his cheek and his evil eye. It was big, bent, gray, and old. I looked at him and my blood run cold as a hey, my name is Sue. How do you do? Now you are cut down. But I hit him once right between the eyes, and he went down, and to my surprise, come up with a knife, and he cut off a chunk of my head. So I busted a chair right across his teeth and went through the wall out into the street, kicking in the gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I fought tougher, man, but I really don't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and I heard him cuss. you're gonna make it, you gotta be tough. And I knew I wouldn't be around to help you long. So I gave you that name, I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tougher to die. You know, it's that name that helps make you strong. You just fought one hell of a fight. I know you hate me, and you have the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your gut and spit in your eye. I'm the mangy weasel that made you sick. What could I do? What could I do? What could I do? I got all choked up, threw down my gun, called him a boy, he called me a son, and I went away with a different point of view. And I think about it every now and then, every time I try, every time I win, and if I ever have a boy, I'm gonna name him Bill or George or Ralph. Anything but Sue, that's a terrible name. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Cash. He loved train engineers and he loved cowboys more than anything else. And right now I'm going to do you my favorite Johnny Cash cowboy song. I guarantee you, if he hadn't met Sam Phillips in Memphis, Tennessee, and started writing songs, eventually he would have made it out to New Mexico and tried his hand at being a cowboy. This is it right here. Oh, cowboy, riding out one dark and windy day. Stopped for a ridge as he rode upon his way. All at once the mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw riding across a windy sky up a clouded road. There was a still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Horns are bright and shiny, their hot breath he could feel. A whole fair went through him as he rode on through the sky. Heard the riders coming hard, felt their mournful cry. If he had it, their eyes were blurred, their clothes were soaked in sweat. Tried to catch that devil's herd, but they ain't caught him yet. Forced to ride forever on that range up in the sky. Horses snorting fire, you can hear them warm cry. As he rode by, he heard a cowboy call his name. If you want to see your soul from hell riding on this range, cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devils and gentlemen. Well, we're lucky tonight because we got a very special guest here. I'd like to bring up Miss June Carter is in the house. Come on out here, June.
Hi, y'all. How's everybody doing? You know, I just couldn't hardly wait to get out and say hi to everybody. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I've been rushing around, John. You know, I had to take your dog Buster to the vet today.
You took my dog to the vet?
I did. I had to take him to the vet.
What's the matter with my dog?
Well, he swallowed a bullet.
Wait a second. My dog swallowed a bullet?
He did.
What did the vet say?
He said, well, don't point him at me. You know, I had to take Grandpa back to the doctor. You know, he lost his brand new hearing aid.
Grandpa lost his hearing aid?
He did. And he had to go back and wanted to get him another one. Doctor says, Grandpa, you realize you got a suppository in your ear? He said, now I know where I put that hearing aid.
Oh.
All right, John.
Your Grammy-winning songs. How about this one right here?
Okay, y'all all know this one. Help us out.
I'm married to the fever. Hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went down. I'm going to Jackson.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna fool around. I'm going to Jackson. God, Jackson. Now we sing about that.
Oh, God, Jackson. Get waiting for your help. Go around here. You can talk and make me feel Jackson. Well, first go home out here.
I'm gonna snowball Jackson.
See right there.
Well, I breeze into that shit. All them women's gonna stoop and bow. All them women's gonna make me teach her what they don't do now. I'm going to Jackson. That's a fact. I'm going to Jackson. What do you say about that? We got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going to Jackson. Turn loose of my Coleman. I'm going to Jackson. I don't think you're taking me serious. I mean it this time.
Go ahead, Johnny. Go on and go to Jackson. I don't care. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it this time. And I'm not going to buy a Greyhound bus ticket and send it to you to come home again.
I mean it this time.
Don't call me on the telephone, John.
Only have one.
Well, that was a good song. You know, this next one we're going to do, I need to tell you a little story about this song. The first time I ever laid eyes on John here, well, I was singing with my mother, Mother Maybelle Carter, my sister, the Carter family, and we were singing at the Grand Ole Opry, and John here showed up. He showed up and he came backstage at the end of the show and he said, I am a really big fan of the Carter family. Well, the Carter family, they were the first people that ever sang gospel music on the radio. And John here, he was a gospel musician. And he had grown up singing the songs on his porch with his mama and listening to the Carter family on the radio. He even sent fan letters to June Carter. And he looked at me, he said, I'm a really big fan of the Carter family, but I'm a really big fan of yours. He said, and I'm going to marry you one day.
And you know what you said?
I said, no, I don't know, it's not what I need in my life.
No, you said, can you read lips?
That's right. But I guess those eyes have just burned a little hole in my heart because I went home and I wrote the words of this song. And this is a true story, y'all. Johnny Cash never knew till well after he recorded that song that I wrote it. And then I wrote it about him. My sister Anita recorded it. She had the voice of an angel. When I wrote the words of that song, it was something like this. It was, I fell into a burning rain of fire. And Johnny Cash heard it and got a hold of it, and this is what he did with it.
There's a burning flame in the face of fiery rain. On high, wild desire, I fell into the fire. Fell into a burning fire, down, 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 flaming higher into the church, that ring of fire, that ring of fire. I fell for you like a child. Oh, if I were wild. Fell into the rain fire, down, 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 flaming fire, Well, getting back to what I was talking about earlier about Johnny Cash, he was in the Folk Music Hall of Fame. And did you know, between 1970 and 1973, Johnny Cash and June Carter had the #1 television show in the whole world? Anybody that was anybody wanted to be on the Johnny Cash Variety Hour. They filmed this thing up in New York City. You know New York City, the place they got that good salsa up there. If you ever been part of a movie or a TV show, you find out that real quick that there's a whole bunch of hurry up and wait that goes on. They got to move those cameras around, and they got to get the light just right. You know, sometimes it takes them hours to get all that stuff set up before they do their takes. Well, Johnny Cash kind of wandered around town a little bit while people were getting ready. They didn't give him a beep on his beeper and he'd come back. Well, one day he came back from wandering around town, and he told his producer, there's a guy down in Greenwich Village. The guy's great. He said he writes his own songs, and they're good. They're really good songs. and plays the guitar and sings. He said, I want to put him on my show. He said, well, what's his name? He said, Bob Dylan. He said, oh, I heard of him. He's a hippie. You don't want to have a hippie on your show. He said, well, if he ain't going to be on the show, I ain't going to be on the show. So he was on the show, ladies and gentlemen. And from then on, everyone in the United States knew who Bob Dylan was. Now, Johnny and June recorded. Johnny and Bob wrote several songs together, as a matter of fact. And just like earlier, Johnny and June recorded this song by Bob Dylan and got a Grammy for it. It goes like this.
Like Ruby was saying, sitting on the porch singing with Grandma, and mostly all they sang was gospel tunes. As a matter of fact, when Johnny finally got an audition with Sam Phillips up in Memphis, Tennessee at Sun Records, after about an hour, Sam finally said, "Do you know anything but gospel?" He said, "Well, I got this folks in prison." At any rate, let me do you a Johnny Cash gospel song here. It goes like this.
One for the Carter family.
I remember when I was glad, times were hard and times were bad. There was silver line, high beach, and every climb. There's more people, that's all we were, trying to make a living off of that. We get together in the evening, singing live. Daddy sang baby,
Mama sang time.
me and Ed Run John riding there, singing the streets of hell, but trouble. One of these days and it won't be long, go join in a song. Join that family circle and grow. Well, the circle won't be broken by Lord, let us let it be.
Mama said to her,
Me and my brother were going riding there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama would call in all of us. You'd hear us singing for a country mile. Your brother is done gone on, I won't join in the song. Join that family circle and come. Same day,
Mama said to her,
me and my brother were John riding there, singing the street of hell, but trouble. One of these days and it won't be long, I'll join in a song. Join the family circle and come. Well, the circle won't be broken by Lord, there's letting be.
Mama said to her,
Me and the brother were going riding there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. All right, I'll tell you what. Since we're doing gospel music, reminds me of a preacher joke. Johnny Cash always used to tell a joke or two during his show, so I see no reason to break with that habit. Preacher was preaching one day and he asked that age-old question: if there is anyone in this room here tonight that's perfect, stand up now. One guy stood up in the back of the room. Preacher said, man, you think you're perfect? He said, no. I was standing up for my wife's ex-husband. He couldn't be here. Does anybody remember Conway Twitty? Remember Conway? Great country singer, don't you think? You know, there was a new preacher in town. We're getting to stand on preachers for a while here. There's a new preacher in town, and he looked just like Conway Twitty. Yeah, just like him. Splitting image of Conway. He was going from house to house trying to get folks to come to Sunday school. Well, the first house he stopped at, a little old lady came to the door. Soon as she saw him, Conway Twitty! No, ma'am. I am just the new preacher in town, but I want you to come to church this Sunday. She said, I sure will be there. The second house he went to, same thing happened. A little old lady came to the door. As soon as she saw him, Conway Twitty! No, ma'am. I'm just the new preacher in town, but I want you to come to Sunday school this Sunday. I sure will be there. Well, the third house he went to, it just so happened, was the new school teacher that just moved to town. Beautiful blonde-headed woman. Just so happened, when he knocked on the door, she was in the shower when he knocked on the door. Well, she threw a towel around herself and ran to the front door. As soon as she opened that door, she saw him. She got so excited, she dropped her towel. She said, Conway Twitty. He said, hello, darling. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny. Here's another song Junior wrote. It was like this. Well, I'm gonna take out walking. Just you wait and see.
I'll get her better when you leave without
Well, you big mouth woman.
you long wicked guitar picking man.
Well, we can work this out.
I think we can.
I stole the whole diamond trying to get you to shut your mouth.
Well, how am I gonna wear it, John? I gotta hide it out.
Well, you big mouth woman.
You long-legged guitar picking man.
I bought you a first-class ticket on a luxury liner cruise.
I got out in the ocean, looked around, and there was you.
Well, you big mouth mama.
Long-legged guitar-string man.
Well, we can work this out. I bought you a big long limousine, said you didn't want no car.
Gave you love everything, and you're still what you are.
Big mouth woman. Teach you the song, man. We can work this out.
I think we can.
We work it out quicker if you can behave.
Oh no. No, Johnny Cash, you're the one. You need to behave a whole lot better than you do, John. A whole lot better.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, Johnny Cash is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, back in 1953, when Johnny Cash got started, you know, everyone was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jerry Lee Lewis, you know what I mean? Rocker, you know, and then Roy Orbison, Elvis, they all rock and rollers. Later on, things kind of changed. Back then, there was only one kind of rock and roll. The kind of music that had a beat you could dance to, but you could still understand the words. Well, they've divided rock and roll into 40 different categories nowadays. So this song, by today's standards, would be considered a heavy metal funk acid song. With a little fusion on top. But I bet it aggravated the parents just like the ones do today. It goes like it.
Dream on, teenage queen, prettiest girl I've ever seen.
There's a story in our town about the prettiest girl around. Hair of gold and eyes of blue, how those eyes would flash at me.
How those eyes would flash at you.
Bars hung around her by the store, but she got the boy next door who worked at the candy store.
Dream on, teenage queen, prettiest girl I've ever seen.
She was tops in all they said, never once went to her head. She had everything it seemed, everything was teenage queen.
Not again as teenage queen.
All the world was at her door, but she loved the boy next door who worked at the candy store.
Dream on, teenage queen, you should be a good queen.
He would marry her next spring, he saved his money and bought a ring. Then one day a talent scout came to town to take her out.
Time to take her out.
Hollywood put on her board, so she left the boy next door who worked at the candy store.
Dream on, teenage queen, see you on the movie screen.
Pretty soon she was a star, swimming pool in fancy car, swimming pool and fancy around, but she missed her old pal.
She missed her old town.
All the world was at her door, all except the boy next door who worked at the candy store.
Dream on, teenage queen, sad girl I've ever seen.
Then one day our teenage star sold her house and sold her car, gave up all her wealth and fame, left it all and called it trade.
And all in our train.
Do I have to tell you more? She went back to the boy next door who worked at the candy store.
The story has some more.
You can hear it all at the candy store. Is there anyone in this room tonight that remembers Chris Christopherson? Great songwriter, don't you think? Now he's another one you might not have ever heard of if it wasn't for Johnny Cash. What are you talking about? That's what you're thinking? Let me explain that to you. You see, Chris Christopherson back in 1968 was working as a janitor in a recording studio in Nashville, Tennessee. He had been working there for 2 years. Well, like all songwriters, he would try to get folks to come to the studio, you know, and he'd try to get the stars to listen to his songs. So he was slipping cassette tapes to Johnny Cash. Well, the owner of the studio caught him and said, "Look, Chris, if I catch you doing that again, I'm going to fire you." So he started slipping them to June. Well, we don't know if June wasn't giving them to Johnny or if Johnny wasn't listening to it. Nothing was happening for Chris. So Chris had another talent in that he was a helicopter pilot with the Air National Guard. One afternoon, he had a few too many beers at happy hour. He went over to the armory and borrowed a helicopter. Flew it over to Johnny Cash's house. Landed it in Johnny's front yard. Johnny was curious. He came out to see what was going on. About the time he got out of that helicopter, Chris decided he would get out of the helicopter, opened the door, fell out on his head, rolled 3 times, and came up with a cassette tape. Now, have your next hit. Right here. Johnny said, "Boy, I like your style. Come in the house, let's have a beer." Listen to that tape. Well, they listened to the tape, Johnny Cash. I mean, you told my whole life story on one side of a cassette. I promise you, I will record that song. It's a good thing he did, because this is the song right here that got Chris Christopherson out of the janitorial business into the songwriting business. Now it's been re-recorded so many times by so many people. A lot of people lost track that Johnny was the first to ever do it, but he was, and it goes like this.
I woke up Sunday morning, cold wind to hold my head, and it hurt. Well, the beer I had for breakfast tasted good, so I had one more for dessert. I followed through the closet, my clothes, and found my cleanest dirty shirt. My face, comb my hair, stumbled out the door to meet the day. I spoke my mind the night before, all the cigarettes and song I had been paid. I stopped beside the car, watched a small kid with a can in his kid. I walked up down the lane, off the Sunday smell of someone fried chicken. And it told me like a song, I lost the words somehow along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing more than I was told. There's something in a Sunday that makes somebody feel alone. But there's nothing short of dying. I've been lost from life sound. Oh, sleeping suicide Sunday morning. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl. He was swinging. I stopped beside a Sunday school. I listened to the choir as they were singing. I walked on down the lane. Somewhere alone and bells were ringing. And it took me like a song, I lost it somehow along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing more than I was told. six hour. Starting in the morning,
Very pretty, John.
Thank you very much.
Turn the bass down.
All right, a lot of people argue, always argue about what was his first hit. I think it was this one right here.
I told the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. Taught the cloud how to cover the broad, clear blue sky. Tears I shed for that woman, gonna flood you the big river. Oh, I'm gonna lay right here until I die. Well, I met her accidentally, St. Paul, Minnesota. Tore me up each time I heard her cross of the road. I heard my dream went back down the stream and board and died board. I followed you, big river, when you call. You later on to St. Louis down the river. A freighter said she'd get here, but she's gone, and she's gone. I heard my train went to Memphis, where she walked out on the bluff, raised a few eyebrows, and then she's gone. Watching back down Baton Rouge with her queen rolling up. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Oh, I've had enough, drop my cares out in the Gulf. She loves you bigger more than me.
Well, I tell you what, let's get a little bit more modern here for you. As modern as I can get with Johnny Cash. Well, you know, let me tell you this story right quick. You know, back in 1999, Johnny Cash pretty well resigned himself to sitting on the riverbank fishing. He bought him a house up in Nashville. It was right on the lake. And that's pretty much what he did, is just sit around fishing. And one day a guy named Rick Rubin came knocking on the door. Now, if you don't know Rick Rubin, he's a music producer that produced several rock and roll bands. One of them was 9 Inch Nails. And he told Johnny Cash, he said, "Man, I have loved listening to you all my life." He said, "I think that I've had these dreams that how to record you. And I'd like to give that a shot, if you don't mind, if you mind coming to the studio and we can do a few things." Johnny Cash said, "Well, no one's been knocking on my door for quite a while, so let's give it a shot. I'm ready. Tired of fishing anyway." So him and Rick and him ended up recording 3 albums, the Heritage Series. Now this is a song, and Johnny didn't write all the songs on this. Some of them were his older songs, but a lot of them were by, more modern folks that Johnny did his style to them pretty well. Tom Petty from up in Gainesville up there, he had a song that Johnny really liked, and Johnny recorded it. And you probably heard it. It goes like this. recording a song written by the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails band. And he got songwriter, no, he got #1 VH1 Song of the Year in 2004. And this is it right here.
Well, I heard myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, that old familiar sting. I try to think it away. I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all. My empire of dirt. I will bring you down. I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts. I cannot repair, but through the stains of time, the memories disappear. You have gone away. I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. What I know goes away in the end. You could have it all. My empire of dirt. I will bring you down. I would make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would help myself. I would find a way.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on back to the standards here. Now, back, let me see, what was it, back 1978? No, that's wrong song. When Johnny bought his first guitar, when he was in the military over in Germany, paid $5 for it, going to be a big star when he got back to Memphis. He got back to Memphis, had to take a job as a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. He hated that job. He heard they were making a lot of money in Detroit. So he went up to Detroit and got got a job on the assembly line. He hated that worse than selling vacuum cleaners. So he went back to Memphis, met Sam Phillips, and things kind of smoothed out. But you know, that trip to Detroit was not a total loss. You got some great material for a great song, and this is the song, right? Well, I left Kentucky back in 49. I went to Detroit working on the assembly line. First year I spent putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I'd watch them beauties roll by, and sometimes I'd hang my head and cry, cause I always wondered what it was long and black. I devised myself a plan. It'd be the envy of most any man. I'd sneak it out in a lunchbox in my hand. Now I'm getting caught and getting fired. I figured I'd have it all by the time I retired. Have me a car with at least 100 grand. You know how I did it? I did it one piece at a time. Would cost me a dime. Notice me when I go clear the town. I'm gonna ride around in style, drive everybody fun. I'm the only one there is around. Now the first day when I checked in with my big lunchbox and help with my friends, I left that day with a lunchbox full of years. I had never considered myself a thief, but Jim would miss just one little piece, especially if I strolled it out over several years. Next day I got me a big fuel pump, then I got the engine in the trunk, then I got a transmission and all the chrome. Little stuff I got in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all four shocks. The big stuff we got out of my buddy's mobile home. Up and down, everything was all right till we tried to put it together one night. Then we realized something was definitely wrong. Cause the motor was a 53 and the transmission was a 63, and when we put the bolts in, all the holes were gone. Well, we drilled out the holes so the bolts would fit, and with a little bit of help from an adapter kit, we had that motor running just like a song. Oh, the headlights, they were quite a sight. We had 3 on the front and 2 on the right. When we pulled the switch out, all 5 of them come on. The rear end looked a little funny too when we put it together, and when we were through, but it only had one great big tail wheel. About then, my wife come out. I can see in her eyes, she had her down. She hopped in the back and said, "Y'all take me for a spin." We headed uptown to get the tags, and I drove straight up that big main drag. You could hear them laughing at me for miles around. But at the courthouse, they didn't laugh. When I ride it up, it took the whole staff, and when they threw, the tile weighed 40 pounds. And I got one piece of time, with my big down. Oh, it's me when I go to the time. I'm gonna ride around and slide, drive everybody wild. I'm the only one that is around. Wait, I'm getting a call on my CV. Y'all remember CVs? For sale home, remember that? Yeah, good, baby. Red Rider, that's you. This is the Psycho Billy Cadillac coming back at you. What's that? The year of this car? Oh, how much did this thing cost? Well, I just drove up to the factory and picked it up. They're cheaper that way. The year of this car? Yeah, the year of this car? Well, let me think about that. I'd have to say, if I really sat down and give it some thought, I'll have to say, here's 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 61, all in the bed. It's 61, 52, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 2004, all in the bed. Oh man, back in 1978, Johnny Cash's career was kind of, the Beatles had kind of taken over and everything, and people weren't listening to what he was doing for a while, so he went to his record company and said, "I have an idea. I want to go to Folsom Prison and record a live album. They said, can you read lips? He said, well, if you don't pay for it, I will. So he had to pay for it. He got a whole semi-truckload of recording equipment, went down to Folsom Prison and recorded live at Folsom Prison. Brought it back and played it for MCA Records. They said, woo, yeah, that's good stuff. We will put money behind that. It's a good thing they did too, because it was #1 album ever from Johnny Cash. I want to do for you. I want to do for you the #1 requested song by the prisoners at Folsom Prison. Now, you'll appreciate this a whole lot more if you pretend you're a prisoner. I was picking out that curtain when y'all was coming in. Now, this is not going to be that big a step for some of you, okay? Are you ready?
Early one morning I was making around. I took a shot of cocaine, shot my woman down. I went home and I went to bed. Put that loving 44 beneath my head. Early next morning I grabbed that gun, took a shot of cocaine and away I run. I run, but I run too slow. They caught up with me in Juarez, Mexico. Sitting on the hot bed, popping the pills, and walked the sheriff from Jericho Hill. He said, Willie, your name is not John Brown. You're that dirty hack that shot your woman down. Yeah, my name is Willie. You got a pirate and read it to me. I shot her down because she begged me slow. I thought I was her daddy, but she had 5 more. When they caught me, I was dressed in black. Put me on a train and they sent me back. I couldn't find one friend to go my bail. They threw my dried up carcass in that county jail. Early next morning, about 9:30, I heard the sheriff coming down the line. He coughed, he hacked, he cleared his throat. He said, come on, dirty hack, into that district court. Into that court, my trial began. It was handled by 12 honest men. Just as that jury started out, I saw that little judge commence to look about. About 5 minutes, a man walked back in. He had that verdict in his right hand. That verdict went in the first degree. I said, Lordy, Lordy, have mercy on me. That judge just grinned and he picked up his pen. 99 years in that Folsom pen. 99 years underneath that ground. I can't forget the day I shot my woman down. Everybody, listen to me. Lay off that whiskey, let that cocaine be.
Well, here's something you may not know. You know, Johnny Cash, his first friend that he made when he started working at Sun Records was Carl Perkins. And he was talking to Carl one day and he said, Carl, when I was over in Germany, I went to a dance. And I was standing beside the dance floor, and a guy came off of the dance floor and standing beside me and he said, I quote, he said, that woman I was dancing with stomped all over my blue suede shoes. He said, Carl, I found that humorous. He said, that'd be right up your alley to write a song like that. He said, well, that sounds a little silly to me. If I promised to go the trouble of doing it, would you promise to record it? He said, I promise you. You write it, I'll record it. Carl went home, took him a week or two, and he finally got all the melody and lines and chords and everything together the way he wanted, brought it back into the studio. Johnny Cash had just left to go out on tour. Guess who was sitting there? The evil Elvis was sitting there. Yes, sir, Bob. And he heard a verse of that song, and said, Mr. Phillips, thank you very much, but I think that I could do that. Thank you very much. Sam said, what the hell did he say? They sang that song. So he sang a verse of it. They said, oh, that could work. So I'm going to show you what it would have been like if Johnny had got his hands on it, though. It would have been like this. Was for the money, for the sugar. Get ready now, go and step on my blue suede shoe. How's that wrong key? All my blue suede shoe. Try it again. If it knocked me down on my face, splatter my name all over the place. Do anything that you want to do. Over here. Step on my blue suede shoe. Steal my car, bring my liquor from an old friend's bar. Do anything you want to do. Step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything at all. Thank you very much. Well, you know, Johnny Cash and Elvis, they ended up being very, very good friends. And you know how friends are? You know, they like to pick on each other from time to time, especially good friends. They like to play practical jokes on one another. Elvis started it all. He did an impression of Johnny Cash in his show. Well, Johnny Cash, to get even, started doing an impression of Elvis. Now, if you don't believe me, pull it up on YouTube when you get home. You're going to get a laugh, trust me. Now, I like to, you know, cover all the bases when I'm doing a Johnny Cash show, so if y'all will give me just 1 second for a costume change, I look forward to getting this Johnny Cash coat off in July.
Nice color change.
You like my spinners?
Did you see your shoes?
We went out to eat, and the lady sitting in the seat and says, I really like your vintage look. I am a vintage guy. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. All time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. All time. You ain't never caught a rabbit. Ain't no friend of mine. Well, it says you was high class, baby. I'll hand you that one just a lie. I believe they're making computers smaller nowadays. Do one more Elvis song, wait a second, if you don't mind. Well,
found a new place to dwell down at the end of Lonely Street. Halloween Hotel. I was home with her. Halloween home. I go down. Look now, how tears keep flowing. Desk clerks dressed in black. And someone on the street. To tell, take a walk down Lonely Street to Halloween Hotel. When I get so lonely, I can die. Little Johnny goes,
Back in 1961, Johnny Cash got a call from his booking agent. He was out on tour. He said, I don't know if you've been listening to the radio, but Patsy Cline has been in a terrible wreck. She's been in the hospital for 18 months now, it seems like. And before she went in, she recorded a great song, and she needs to be out there promoting that song. And he said, her band's broken up, would you mind if she joined you on tour? He said, man, send her out, that'd bring a lot of people in. So ladies and gentlemen, Patsy's not here. June was a good friend of Patsy's. You can sing just like her.
Yeah, Patsy was a great gal and everybody loved her. She did everything for everybody. Helped everybody out in the business, opened the door for every woman in the business. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. Oh, I know me as long as
Number one requested Johnny Cash song of all time.
Kansas City, Kansas City,
ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Cash and Jimmy were for sure great pictures. They did a lot of USO shows, and they would always, when they were over in Vietnam and over there, they would always get a bag of mail and take it back with them so they could mail it after they got back to the United States, because you never knew if it was going to make it back or not. So Johnny wrote this song. You heard it every 4th of July, Memorial Day, and I bet you a lot of you don't know that Johnny wrote it. It goes like this. I was walking through a courthouse square, and on a bench an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "It'll do for our little town." I said, "Your flagpole kind of leans a little bit, and that is a ragged flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat." So I sat down. He said, "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "Well, I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see that hole in that flag here? You got that when Washington crossed the Delaware. And that burn it got when Francis Scott Key sit writing and watching, oh, say can you see? It got a bad tear down in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson took it, it seems. It almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but it waved on though. It got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. It got cut again at Shiloh Hill. And there was Robert E. Lee and Beauregard and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on our ragged old flag. At Flanders Field in World War I, she got a bad hole from a Bertha gun. Turned blood red in World War II, hung living low for a time or two. She went to Korea, she went to Vietnam, she went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. Native Americans, red, yellow, white, they all shed red blood for our stars and stripes. She guarded over our ships on the blinding foam, but you know, they almost quit waving her here at home. In her own land, she's been abused. She's been burned, denied, refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. She's getting threadbare, and she's wearing thin. But she's in mighty good shape for the shape she's in. So we put her up each morning, we take her down each night. We don't let her touch the ground, but we fold her upright. You know, as a matter of fact, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of our ragged old flag. Sweet baby. if you had a good time, tell the boss on the way out. If you didn't have a good time, just keep your mouth shut. Thank y'all.